And welcome back to A Spirited Debate. I want to bring in the panel now because we have some great stuff to discuss. Kennedy Williams, the author of Processing Life's Moments, Therapy for the Soul, is with us again. We love Kennedy.
Thank you.
And coming to us from our Denver bureau, Dr. Jeff Myers, the chairman board of Summit Ministries. You've been here before. You're just out in the other neck of the woods here for us today.
This is closer to where I live, and as you can tell by looking behind me, it's a really great place to be.
Oh, it looks gorgeous. It looks gorgeous. So, sorry that you're not in the studio, but you've been here, so you kind of know the lay of the land, so you don't feel out of the loop too much here.
That's right, yeah.
The first topic we've got today is on Obama. And he basically stopped short of endorsing gay marriage. President Obama said Wednesday gays and lesbians should be treated like every other American, and he edged towards endorsing same-sex marriage, but, he kind of stopped short. Take a listen to what he said following New York passing the gay marriage bill.
What I've seen happen over the last several years, and what happened in New York last week, I think was a good thing. Because what you saw was the people of New York having a debate, talking through these issues. It was contentious, it was emotional, but ultimately they made a decision to recognize civil marriages. And I think that's exactly how things should work.
All right, Dr. Jeff, why don't you go first and tell us what you think about that? Why do you think he kind of stopped short? Because the Wall Street Journal basically is blasting him, saying, why doesn't he just come out and say it?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think, Lauren, the answer he stopped short is because he's kind of on the horns of a dilemma. I think in his heart, he really does support the idea of gay marriage, but his dilemma is this. Gay marriage is a deeply unpopular agenda item all across the country, and the president's popularity has suffered. I think he's a little bit afraid to make himself even more unpopular, but the other side of it is this, and I hate to say this, but the president has become kind of a reverse alchemist. Everything he touches turns to lead. And so I think he's a little bit afraid that if he endorses this agenda, it'll jinx it somehow and stop its momentum.
Yeah. Kennedy, an interesting side of this, and I think, Jeff, you're pretty much correct, but also, if he just came out and said it, it certainly would rally his base because the numbers show that many people support gay marriage, but it would also show something about his politics and perhaps that he hasn't been quite as straightforward with people as maybe he should be.
I think this is where the man meets the politician. I think that the president has to come out and say what he believes in, because in that clip, basically what he talked about was the process of what happened in New York. He did not talk about whether or not he endorsed it. He talked about the process, everybody coming together, everybody talking about their feelings and things like that. But he never talked about whether or not he would endorse it. However, I do think that he should come out and say what it is that he believes in, because we know that it's all political. Yeah. But however, the reason I say that the man meets the politician, I think in his heart, I think the opposite. I don't know if he really wants to vote for the bill. I think that his religious beliefs is totally against it, but I think the political side of him is saying, wait a minute, I think the popular vote is over here, so should I do this, should I do that?
Do you really think, though, he doesn't believe in it personally? Because he said on the 2008 campaign that, his views on same-sex marriage are evolving.
Yes.
And he also, in his administration, he will not defend the Defense of Marriage Act. He says it's undefensible.
Unconstitutional.
And he's a very smart guy, Jeff, so why wouldn't he just say, and try to fight it?
Well,
I mean, try to fight for DOMA.
Yeah, that's right. I think he's instructed the Justice Department, as I understand it, to not defend DOMA. That's a major, major policy shift. So, I would say he's probably in favor of this. He's just trying to find the right political moment where he can move it forward. And Lauren, the problem is there isn't a very good political moment because almost everybody in America opposes gay marriage. When it comes before a popular vote, overwhelmingly people oppose it. And I think I know why they oppose it. I think they oppose it because they think it's arrogant for the legislature to say that they can decide what marriage is. Marriage, I'm speaking from a Christian worldview, obviously, but marriage pre-exists the state legislature. So for the state legislature to say marriage is what we want it to be is just as ridiculous as them saying we want it to be 15 degrees warmer during the wintertime and 15 degrees cooler during the summertime. It's just not in their jurisdiction to support it.
I agree. When it comes to politics, I really don't think that the legislation should be involved in telling people whether or not they should be married or not. But that's just the way it is right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, no, that's not the way I would phrase it. But yeah, the way I would phrase it is the government has a compelling interest in certain kinds of marriage that are naturally reproductive because they undergird the state and the economy. So the government does not decide what marriage is. The government puts its imprimatur on certain kinds of marriages because of what they do for the country.